Almost anytime I bring up Hightail, other people bring up Vintage Story, as if there's a limited amount of things existing in the world. I even got the chance to talk with the creator of this. There's only one man making the damn whole thing. Maybe he installed mods, like all of these shadow shaders and moving grass shaders. Maybe he installed that from outside sources, but it's just literally one man creating this whole thing. And it sucks. It's garbage. It's not how you make games. It is something else that I will be able to define throughout the video. What it is like hyper realism, right? Which is why when people bring up this as a counter to Hightail, I'm like, are you crazy? Now it doesn't have shadow shaders, funny enough. Hytale is actually less advanced when it comes to graphics, apparently. I don't know. It still looks better. I mean, I can do that. I can do this easily. And this looks good. Because it has its own style. It doesn't try to be just hyper realistic. It doesn't try to be fucking boring. It's trying to actually create an environment that you would want to, vibe with. This environment is pretty shallow, pretty empty, and very complex. You need tutorials more than you would want to play this game. This is just not how you make the games, but we will dissect basically. Because apparently, I didn't make a video about Vintage Story, and I feel ashamed of that. Now, I haven't downloaded or paid for the game, and the dude definitely deserves his money, but so do I. For I am a direct competitor. Yes, what you see here is my engine in current state. I have fixed a little bit of flickering, and flickering is not a big deal anyways. That's not the part of what would ruin my gameplay. The rest looks already pretty good. I haven't even really perfected anything. Or added sun in the sky. That shit don't matter to me right now. I just wanted to make sure that this doesn't lag. And every single block is an object, so I can rotate them and do whatever the fuck I want. You can see these are not Minecraft blocks. There's something weird going on. And there's such a long journey that awaits this engine. So many things that are going to be added, upgraded, and tweaked to the point where things look really, really good. So that's that. That's my engine, my friends, on Unity. So you can actually also tweak it fairly easily. This guy tried to like recruit me, and it would have been absolutely a blast. I actually lost an opportunity. I'm a piece of shit. I'm a piece of shit back then. I lost one of the greatest opportunities to just like be around, Just build for this guy. Build some structures for this guy. Learn how to build in Minecraft in general. His building engine was a little bit of like icky, and I didn't want to dive into it too deep. But he's genuinely a nice guy. He gave me an opportunity to like earn money and be around, and it's just like I didn't take it seriously. That was really stupid of me. I don't take money games really seriously, and holy shit, did I stab myself? I feel sorry for myself. This guy made me really a loser. I've never felt like a loser until Vintage Story showed up. The problem is, again, I'm not really attached to the game, and I don't want to like insult a person for making weird decisions. Hyperrealism is not fun, no matter how you put it. This looks really good, right? Like the grass, but the grass is so like chopped. It's one block height, so it kind of looks like shit. There's no hills basically. Yeah, it's Minecraft garbage. Minecraft slop. Which I am actually able to upgrade a little bit. I'm not sure about the sun rays. I think it should be fairly doable to add the sun. I just don't know. I don't know right now. My engine is not efficiently made to add lighting or anything. But this is so doable that I am like, I have to be able to do this. I have to be able to at least beat Vintage Store in the way in the looks department because the gameplay department is weak. Also, this you don't do that. Don't even render at this point like angled like this. Like, are you serious? Don't even bother rendering shit like this. Okay, you can see this crisscross pattern, and it's like super ugly. You definitely don't want to see like artifacts. Even this is a little bit too much. Grass going outside of the block range. Like, these things can be actually improved. But everyone wanted Hightail, which looks like this. It technically looks like shit, but you wouldn't notice because you're vibing, you know? You don't give a fuck right now of lighting. Like, give me a break. Also, grass looks like shit. Like, it doesn't even have an actual texture. Like, it's crazy. It doesn't have like darkness to it. But then it just doesn't stand out, and you get to look at things that do matter. I don't know. It's definitely an interesting comparison at this point. It does have a little bit of shadows. It has a slightly better water texture. You don't want to know how water looks like in Hytale, but we'll show you anyways because you have to know. Unfortunately, the worst thing that I criticized from the very very beginning when I talked to the dude, I'm like, what the fuck have you done to the clouds? Why would you choose clouds like that? Alright, let me show you clouds because that is the most outrageous looking clouds in all of gaming. In the history of gaming, the worst clouds. You can already see. What the fuck is that? Why do clouds have like edges to it? What is going on? Right? From this angle it looks fairly decent, but it literally doesn't actually even like transition into the sky in any way. Like, this is the only transition and it looks ugly. It looks like it stands out. Like, I don't know, man. Clouds are fucking ugly in this game. And you can't even have a lot of them to populate in tiny ways. So here's the water. Here's the water. And it looks like nothing. Looks like a little bit of extra darkness. So I took a picture of this and I'm like, okay, let's see how real water looks like. Real water reflects, so that's a pretty hard thing to do, but you can still like reflect the color of the sky easily. No problem. Just a little bit darker, right? And even if the water is shallow, this is not 1 block deep water. All right, this is just shallow water. And this is probably 1 block deep water. So it already has ripples, it already has like texture to it, instead of just being bland garbage, just like clouds are. So the dude really failed in that department where he picked a way to make water in clouds. He fucking failed. I give him 2 points for that. The funny thing is, that's pretty good. Look at this water actually is blue. Now it's not reflecting the sky, and this is kind of weird. Shadows across the water? Like, what the fuck? Like, half of that would be Remove through reflect, but that's the hardest part. This is the shit that looks pretty weird, like these shadows. But yeah, I like that there's increasingly more blue. The more water there is in front of the camera, like that's fine. Even though that's not really the main important feature of water. Yeah, if there's more water, it's going to be more blue-ish, technically. And I've made water myself. So, when I had a chance to review Vintage Story, I was a piece of shit. Alright? I was just a baby. I started my own journey. Now, I was able to record screen. I'm just a fucking lazy idiot. You know, I was able to be doing that. Well, technically, I'm not lazy. I was scared that it's gonna lag. You know, like that's sort of it's a rational thing to think, but then I end up like recording with my phone, my laptop with my phone, so and talking nonsense basically. But everyone grows up, and eventually I will grow up out of the state that I am in right now. I can still improve. Vintage Story is number 13. It's a very weird thing. A Wild Winter Story has appeared 8 views. Stellar Overload actually got 50 views. Beautiful graphical disaster. I wish to probably review all the voxel games. Voxel knots. Yeah, I feel really bad for doing these videos, and I probably will have to clean them up out of my channel. Kind of make TLDR versions of these and basically hide them from the timeline. I'm not exactly sure what I will do. I probably will shrink most of the history in general. Like, I don't. It's not really a big deal if people click around. It's just YouTube does not allow you to even jump in time, and scrolling around is gonna waste people's time. And if you can make anything efficient, it is actually worth doing. And I definitely have tainted my image basically by whatever the fuck I was yapping. I mean, everyone has feelings though, and those feelings are true. It's just you improve the way you express feelings, so yeah. I never gave myself a chance to review Vintage Story until guys. I had all the opportunities. I was ahead of the game. I could have been the cool guy around here, and I flopped because I was poor. All right. I was a poor guy. No friends, nothing to boost me up, no real motivation to earn money through these means because I just didn't know how it feels like, you know? I couldn't establish myself. I thought everything was like complicated. And I was like locked in of like, wow, I can actually I know how to render things. That is so crazy to me. It was so crazy to just invent rendering. Invent the most baseline feature that games have. But just inventing something baseline, that doesn't mean you're gonna invent something functional. Look how ugly this is. Alright? Vintage Story is the ugly version of Minecraft. In every way imaginable. Alright? And this is not an insult. That's the reality. I don't want anyone to feel bad. I want people to understand what they would get if they play this game. It's an ugly version of Minecraft. At this point, like, if you're making a Minecraft, just make regular slopes. Don't make blocky things. Just make a slope. Things would look so much better. Or let's call it slate. Just slight tilt of a block. But that's not what we get. We get something pretty ugly, right? So I'm not gonna download Vintage Story myself. I don't have time for that. We're just gonna watch gameplay that's already popular and introduces people to the game that I'm not willing to play, you know? Why would I pay for something that I'm not gonna play?
Point blank.
Like there's just wolves, bears for mobs. Like imagine being this fucking boring, this fucking ugly, and then also treating like wolves as like the starting point of every conversation. That's how I felt about their Discord and everything. Obviously, the games don't have to be graphically crazy. This is like the simplest thing, and it still looks good, right? And you still would kind of dare to play it if it looks super clean and it has cool things to offer for a player. Because you can't just do a generic thing like that's so stupid. Never do a generic thing. You always, as a game developer, you have to always try something new, some kind of mix of things. But this is what gaming's supposed to look like. What kind of fucking realism would you want in gaming? It's crazy. It is definitely a thing you can choose to do, and those produce like the ugliest texture packs in Minecraft ever. Realism texture packs are just not it. And even though, like, yes, the grass looks good, I dare to say that you can make grass look good very easily. I am very interested of like how the graphically this was pulled off because we can actually see into incredible distance. It's not insanely difficult when you consider that these are just tiny pixels, but if you move around your player, like you can see behind those trees. Everything moves. It is absolutely crazy to pull off high-end rendering distance. Even my rendering engine can't fucking do that because everything is an object, and there's like 100 million objects when it comes to distance, right? And maybe I can pull it off. I will start kind of tinkering into like how I can turn collapse like 1,000 objects into one object as long as it's like distance rendering or whatever. Like we'll figure it out. Because technically blocks turn into like little pixels, little floaty pixels in the distance. They when they become like super tiny. But I still feel like the rendering actually
Throw
is
and got my
so
ass kicked by
incredibly impressive. I need headphones.
in the game, and that's officially my first death. Yeah, to one of my
What
marked
the?
locations, or I dig out several of those marked.
The thing that will make my engine a little bit late to the party, because I'm not making a Minecraft game, guys. I'll just make a like environmental sort of a floaty screen and particle system. But even just this particle that like falls to the ground and then touches the ground, it's just simple physics like that. Yeah, I can't do that. I can't. That's hard. When it comes to like polygons and meshes, they can actually generate a mesh and it interacts with tiny things. But for me, it's gonna be like a little bit too complicated at the moment. I have to pretty much bake in every single thing, from physics to lighting. So my journey is very long, and if you have any programming skills for free, you're just a curious dude and you want to be a part of this, this still moves forward, this still accumulates importance. And I've definitely found better games than Vintage Story. Don't worry about that. All right. When it comes to if you want the best gaming experience, you shouldn't be spending time looking at this and thinking that you will enjoy this. All right. From the very beginning, you are greeted with trying to find like a rock, I guess, turning into like a sharp rock. You already greeted with like weird ass realism.
Welcome to the
You can see the grass is moving. It's pretty nice in that regard, and it's not that difficult to pull off. It's just like slanting 2 points around in a dynamic way.
Rust-torn world of vintage story.
I don't think the wind is being simulated here. I think it's just like
Over the
random.
next 100 days, it's me absolutely
Yeah, survive winter, guys. Isn't that exciting? Again, there's like 3 types of mobs, and sorry about that.
but
Oh, I haven't seen that.
also through unimaginable
That does not look like a real creature. And immediately it's like a creature from your nightmares. What the
horrors
fuck?
and tormented entities.
Tormented entities, bro. That looks like how Enderman should look like. But let's not forget how Warden looks like. All of a sudden, Minecraft gotten just kind of weird very quickly. Not this weird. Not where like, why do you need spikes here? Like, what happened to this guy? What is he made out of? Not this weird. Where like the only fantasy is a nightmare. The only fantastic part of this world is something you probably don't want to encounter at all. You just want to avoid that. Give me my realism back, okay? Thank you. Fucking horror movies, the only fucking fantastic element. Thank you. Yeah.
Yet, there is a
Yeah, you can see how textures just like don't blend in and they look fucking ugly.
yet deep in the southern
Like, I'm sorry, dude. This is no longer acceptable. Now it's shit. If you don't look too hard into it, then it's fine. How does Hytale handle like cliffs or something? So probably don't even do that. What are we having? What are we having, guys? It's shit. It's shit, but it doesn't like poke your eyes out by being shit. Again, we're not just dissecting something graphically. It's just bad in every way. It's ugliest Minecraft
mountains.
you've ever seen. But it cannot be underestimated that this is not an insult. One dude made this. One dude owns this whole fucking community. Like, he's a fucking champion. By any means, I'm not touching his reputation. I would just never consider this like an actually good game design direction to take. I think it's just a very weird decision to go this direction. If there were dungeons, if you could actually like fight in a normal mode without like worrying about how to sharpen your fucking weapon, like there's no gameplay. You have to like really in a tedious way progress to be able to even like uh, receive one dungeon as a reward, basically, of like, okay, I am ready. I have geared up, basically. I have my stick with a fucking sharp end to it, and I will go in here. You know, I've crafted stuff items that it's time to fight. And that's just it's a very interesting kind of reward for these people who have put in insane amount of hours just crafting basic items, but because everything has to have a mold. Iron, when it melts, it turns into a liquid and then solidifies, and then you just take it out of the molds and then you put it on a stick and then you have a fucking hammer. That's kind of funny, but it's also really grim reality of like, brother, I don't want to spend time crafting one item this much time. Like, what the fuck are we talking about? You can pick a few things of realism. Like, this is fun when it's not the entire game like this. When the entire game is not trying to recreate reality, basically. Like, that sort of thing is. I've learned the word incel and I have to use it. and I still can't damage the dude's reputation. Like, you don't have to insult me just because I'm insulting the game. I'm not insulting the guy who made it. I can never do that. The guy is brilliant and made me feel like a loser. If we bring up the guy, like the notch, like I respect. Like, look at the fucking clouds. Look at the fucking vomit. What is going on over here, though? What is this graphical glitch? Dude, what happened?
That cabin in the woods feel.
What did you
Although
do?
It's not in the
Is that bird?
woods, and it's not I was building it, so I was mostly winging it. Even let the logs protrude on the
What is this? This looks like it's in the distance. It really just bothers me, like looking at the sky when the sky looks so fucking weird. And these are a lot of polygons being used to make something look weird. You can just have a shitty ass texture that floats, you know, above your head. Wow, look how good the sky looks when you barely see the goddamn clouds. But apparently, like, this is possible. This looks like shit, though, as well, because it doesn't look like thematic. You can't, come on, guys. Can we not make clouds even like this is better, because it's like a uniform, but it's not good when it's like on the same level. It is best to not even make clouds transparent if so. Yeah. And make them like uniform, make them one color so they don't have like edges or whatever. Like, does the cloud need to have like up, down, left, right type of coloring? I don't think so. That looks kind of fucking weird. So yeah, Minecraft's clouds are also disgusting in that sense. No one actually has a good example of good clouds. I am pissed. This is as best as we get. Oh wow. Oh, that's how you do it, huh? That's how you do it. What you see here is pretty. No! Cookies, you piece of shit! You attacked me with cookie. What is going on? Zooming in does not zoom into the picture. You piece of fucking shit, Reddit. Reddit, you'll be sucking. Why all these clouds on the same level? Are you fucking kidding me? They should be all over the place in the sky. So it does look interesting. Like, the shading is pretty interesting. I do appreciate. I still think it's supposed to be uniform. Like, the clouds are not supposed to be shaded. In terms of like the lower part of cloud is somehow like very dark. Everything else is like super lit. Like, what? Is that for real? Is that how? Technically, yes. Technically, the lower part of the cloud is like darker because the sun shines from above. You analyze like real clouds, they have this like darkness shading. Sure. Sure, dude. So that is like debatable how you can actually achieve like the best looking clouds while still maintaining their blockiness. I should be able to pull it off. I should be able to like have a perfect way of doing it. I feel like I can just make them like tiny little cubes that do have transparency, very similar to this, right? This I actually hate it just as much as Minecraft, so I guess we haven't made any downward progress. But what I'm thinking is it's gonna work. Like, I mentioned to the dude that I can definitely make clouds, and I probably made clouds and gave him an example. I wonder if I did that. Yeah, he's still very active, but kind of not really engaging anymore, because obviously I'm a fucking weirdo. I even gave him mental bleeding. Ugh. Here it is. Water blocks, basically. I showed him, like, how clouds would kind of look like, you know? There's a lot of texture in here, by all means. It was a really hot topic of discussion, if you can make clouds better. And, like, pretty sure you can make that with polygons too. Just have different layers of, like, random noise textures floating around in the sky, and, like, that should be good enough. And this is just, like, baseline of what you can pull off with having a million blocks, obviously. Definitely has its advantages.
In-game.
When I was talking to the dude and I was, like, making my rendering engine, I actually had an idea that is very similar to AI. The way AI works, I had a very similar idea where, like, every sentence we make is semi-coherent, so when I say a sentence, it should spit out a little bit of code of, like, give me orange ball, and it will kind of semi-generate something that I want it to do. So it's kind of like a word coding, and I actually implemented word coding into my games. In one particular place, right? This is technically word coding. It's a very ugly version of that. It would be nice to just type in a sentence of, like, what you want and it translates into the code. So this is far from word coding. Because you want to write a sentence down of, like, here's a big star that just, like, flies away from the starting point. Although we don't tend to describe things too precisely, so word coding also is kind of fucking weird. This is as close as I got to predict that AI should exist. But someone actually made a leap discovery that I can't even describe AI to this point. I understand it's predicting, like, the best next word to give you, but that's still crazy to me.
Hours were spent like this.
And crazy to the rest of the world, because, like, fucking game-changing for sure.
In case, I
Look at this shit. What is this What is this floating thing, bro? Come on.
I want much
I want to see it, at
to
least.
build the whole hut in one day. In
I want to see if it's just like a generation glitch or something. It's not gonna, like, change the narrative, though. This is weird. These, like, fire particles coming out, like, they look kind of shitty as well.
were spent like this. Ducks
I don't know, man. That looks weird.
life was a painfully slow medieval
There's just something wrong about it.
lawnmower, crafted the mud bricks the closest
Like, technically, the fire sticks to the torch. The fire does not just spread out. The embers just, like, keep jumping off the torch into the air. That's not fire. So there's definitely a more precise way to do fire. If you want to do realism, what I'm talking about is the best part of realism is trying to recreate the look of a real world. That's what people are into, but when it comes to gameplay, don't do this.
on
Don't do
sand.
this.
Use my weakest stone. By the way, our
One thing that kind of pisses me off is, like, how do we have this advanced? Like, if we're trying to do realism, go all the way. These are already, like, available. Mud bricks? What? You can already just do that. Are you high enough level? I wish everything was, like, skill-based, level-based. That you don't have to put in too much work into putting things on a crafting table and all that shit. Like, there has to be simplification, gamification of this. I immediately, when I was talking to the dude, I immediately started, like, criticizing that you just made a complicated game. What's the point of that?
I decided, I
But even this kind of looks
won't manage
bad.
to build the whole hut in one day.
Also, why go in this direction? Why is the fire going this direction, guys?
some clay.
Again, you might feel like I am cherry picking. I'm trying to entertain myself, guys. This is entertainment for me. I'm not going to be entertained by looking at the actual gameplay. Don't worry about that part. Maybe when the dungeon starts, you know, when he enters a dungeon and start fighting, that's like the better end of the game. Water also looks decent here. I'm trying to entertain myself because, like, I do a rendering engine myself, and I need it to look very, very good. And I will leech all the experience that this game provides to pull this off. Again, the lighting is impressive. That it has this lighting. Obviously, it doesn't light up the distant
Some walls
things.
run out of the material.
Even then, at the night sky, clouds just bother me. They take up such an amount of scenery and make it look bad.
I moved all aggressive wolf.
Another weird part about the game and why it doesn't work out very well. It has the same mechanic as in Minecraft, water. Except these mobs do, in fact, want to go for a swim.
I don't know.
That's
He just
crazy to
hyper
me.
ignored me. Probably because I'm a boring commoner with no trade.
Oh, that's pretty impressive.
I don't know. He just hyper.
He can climb bushes. This is cool.
Ignored me. Probably
That's kind of cool.
because I'm a seriously and I attacked him first. And since I'm a pro,
So the idea is that it's to make the wolf swim and then you just beat them. But why would the wolf want to attack you in the water if it doesn't have fucking advantage? That's where things get really frustrating to me. In Minecraft, you don't really have to deal with mobs swimming towards you. You know, and skeletons will fucking obliterate you if you're in water. So, nah, dude. Nah, don't do... Even in Skyrim, wolves don't go into the water. That was a bad decision.
I know that water is the...
I really don't like seeing an animal suffer because he just can't. He can't reach the player. I'm so sorry, dude. Better luck next time.
ultimate bane of all fast things. So I used water to beat the wolf.
He used water to beat the bear as well at some point.
With a help...
Wait, there's like a room?
Numbers can
What is he
clearly be
playing?
inappropriate. Fight went on for a bit.
Oh, what is going on? There's a lot of
Not terrible.
stuff going on. This is very interesting to me. There's some kind of like a detail happening when it comes to... It's probably just voxel items is not that crazy, but like, look at this detail.
Crafting the first...
Voxel models. I mean, the guy really went balls deep into that voxel look, but because it's so like rusty and dead looking,
time spent.
Same happens with the window. The inventory, like, it also looks meh. Like, what? And even the font, the choice of font is terrible. Everything is just trying to make it look professional, where it's not a children's game at all. Children should not touch this. Ever.
With the clay farming system. We can make a lot of different stuff, and while speed running the carpal tunnel, I ended up with
Too much clicking, huh?
about 41. One crucial prepare.
Ooh, no. No, we're not gonna have that. We're not gonna have tree just disappear. Uh-oh. What happened here? What happened between these couple of frames? My tree will literally shrink down into just pickable items. Because everything is an object in my game. So every object can just come down or shrink down into a item that waiting to be picked up. Why is there pink grass?
About one crucial prepare.
This is like grass. It don't look like flowers to me.
Getting my
Excuse me? No.
hands on copper tools. You
No. Is that flowers to you? What? Maybe? It should be a little bit more emphasized,
can't melt copper in a...
because it looks like grass.
You need
Like, where's the stems of these flowers?
charcoal. And charcoal
You know?
making is
I guess? I guess that's a stem?
some wood, cut logs in the charcoal pit.
These particle effects, they are weird. I'm not gonna lie. They make
I actually went
things
for a dirt mountain.
look a little weird, right? Not sure how to address that issue. Everything is just flying off. All the bits are flying.
Approach. So I put all the... not a single...
Even firewood looks very ugly, but
put all the firewood
it's satisfying.
in piles on the...
That shit's satisfying, though. Like, why is it so fucking moldy in a way? Like, what? What is these, like, white bits? Ew. Why can't firewood look like just normal? Why are we trying to aim for this? For the most ugliest fucking graphic, when we can just have this? You know? These are still polygonal. What the fuck? Why did the guy just found the ugliest version of everything? You know what I mean? Like, that's how ugly this game is. I'm not just making shit up, guys. Also, this looks ugly because it's not fully randomized.
my dirt mountain.
Again, I'm putting myself in a very weird position where I will have to work my ass off to not make something this ugly. It's not hard. It's not that hard. Don't worry about that. I can always escape, guys. There's always an escape route where something looks good without needing to be complicated graphically. It's like we have all of these things like meshing together and adding on darkness, and the game looks bad. The dude does not even know how to market his own game. He forgets about the most important parts, where he could be, you know, monopolizing and taking ownership of me a little bit. Maybe kickstarting my career. If he's a nice guy.
Actually looks like a pile of steaming shit now. Anyway.
Oh my god! Oh my god! I didn't have to roast this game! This whole time I had plenty of roast laid out across, didn't I? Pile of shit! I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry. You just fucking unlocked me from my mortal prison. I should drop a like, but I disabled buttons. Fuck these buttons. Bloat. It's bloat, guys. I'm not touching the buttons.
I went on
Yeah, like, avoid dark textures in general. Please. Jeez. Avoid darkness in video games. Like, I understand, like, what's being tried here to do. I'm not exactly sure how I would improve on that. But
berries again.
It's not bad. Bushes are not bad. You just don't want to see this. Now it fucking stabs your eyes out. Surely flickering is better. Just disabling the texture is better. I hope. Another part of this game being ugly is this. I don't know why is this ugly, but it is. It just is. I can't. Guys, I cannot look at this. Maybe it's the skin? Maybe, like, let's not have blue skin? Let's not make things intentionally ugly. Oh, I hate it, man. Why do we have to have that shit? This kind of interesting. There's a lot of particles on the screen. It's pretty impressive. Dude really spent a lot of time. I mean, daytime looks good.
But this time
Ooh,
it wasn't
ruined village.
as abundant
Let's
as
go.
I thought. And after panicking for a solid minute, I did find my
Bear couldn't
my way
outsprint.
into a small pond where I knew I had an advantage.
Bear, no! I knew I had the advantage. I knew I had a cheat code.
I must have stabbed him about 20 times before he
This is so painful.
went down with a knife in my hand.
Yeah. 100 men versus gorilla? Give me 10 men and put gorilla in a water.
Did that on purpose.
Nah, never mind. You couldn't still kill bear with your bare hands. You couldn't kill bear with bare hands, guys.
And after
Welcome vintage story to my little humble
the
engine.
crucible was for now a couple
Not gonna lie, watching a video is entertaining. Okay, because it kind of like runs down through all the interesting parts of the game. Like watching vintage story is fine. You be spending proper quality time instead of dealing with fucking Hytail's non-existence, you know? The depressing state of Hytail. Some kind of psychological horror, basically.
of fish will do.
Instead, you're gonna get to look at shitty fonts and darkness. That describes the game very well for me.
Also made a clay mold
It still creates like an atmosphere. It reminds me of the game, like it tickles my... It transports me to here. It feels the same. Arx Fatalis level of graphics. And if and the dungeon feels the same way. Like you enter the dungeon and you don't want to leave. You want to like feel the whole experience. And it's still a crude experience, but you just like you really want the dungeon. That's how it looks like. Like exactly Arx Fatalis style. But it's different at the same time.
for something called
Very
a prospecting
different.
pick. It just so happens
Arx Fatalis is one of those games that if was remastered, I would play. I would not worry about that. I would play that
to
shit.
be one show you
But when I call remastered, I mean lots of things improved and changed.
what it is for and a little farm later. And notice
Temporal
that water
rift,
rabbit
bro.
nibbling on my crops.
What the fuck you mean temporal rift? What is this? The game just goes random so hard. Ouch.
It's just a regular rabbit. Or
Oh
some-
shit. Oh shit, this looks good. The bugs? That's kind of
I have to
nice.
put up some fences or move my... For now though,
There should be more bugs all the way around this
I
place.
just
That would be
planted the rest
cool.
of the stuff that I and
Just a few bugs can actually give so much atmospheric
he go.
pleasure, I guess.
Nice juicy medium. Then out
Yeah, so graphics is where you start like dissecting the game, and I'm still having fun doing that. Even if half of the stuff is roastable. Even like putting this in a corner of the screen. What? Why can't you just put in the middle? Like there's so many decisions, so questionable. This is why you like really take time and only bring to the game the things that truly matter. You know?
the nuggets.
What is important for a lot of game developers is try and like steer away from typical Minecraft. You don't want to do the same thing, so probably that was the only thing that he was focused on. Just like, let's shy away from Minecraft. Let's not make another Minecraft, please. But it ends up like doing this, where the game is even unplayable. Ugh.
So that
To some people, it's fine. Some people are gonna enjoy it because they're desperate.
they can fit
There's so many voxel games. They're so good, dude. This one's not.
into
It's
my crucible. It's a lot.
like even the font looks so bad here specifically when it like shows the amount of items that you have. Also should extrude, by the way. Like there's a little bit of space to extrude the number on the edge. And I would rather use that space. Because you want to leave the object alone. Don't touch the object with your ugly numbers, basically. And then you shrink down the numbers vertically. You squeeze them a little bit. But you gotta give them a proper font. This is weird. This is not even Minecraftish, by the way.
For now. Did I copper just yet?
Wow. Anvil molds. Jesus. You go this far. Oh no.
Many goats and ramps
no.
and stuff. I need
Anvil molds.
to remember this place.
I will not be able to sleep because... What is this? What the fuck is this? How is this the terrain? Can you show me?
It's when I want
Holy shit. There's some weird-ass
to
anomalies
get
in
some
this
farm
game.
animals.
I would just buy the game just to see anomalies. Just to run around. See anomalies in textures and whatever. Fucking weird.
I
What we
also
just
ran
saw on
through
the
a
map,
gravel desert
dude.
and peeked further in the
Fucking
same
meteorites.
rocky desert.
Oh,
I
here we
found a
go.
locust hive.
That's
Those
pretty
are small
cool.
robotic spiders left by the ancients.
Robotic spiders, let's go.
Quad last night.
Oh no. More animal abuse.
I will not let a deer walk free
Contents,
after
bro.
setting me back a day.
That's acceptable. I'll take that. Just why the contents little box? It's a fucking tiny box. Why is it all the way in the edge of the screen? Please.
So I finally got
Please.
some animal meat.
It's on the edge of the screen. Are you kidding me? No. This game is torturous, bro. Wow. Like, there's so much space. All the way here. Oh, there's so much space, guys. It's literally space adventure across the entire screen. And we just chose that place right there. Okay.
I put it in the clay
Cool.
vessel I made earlier and realized
Cool. Absolutely amazing.
that it has a nice system that detects if a room counts as a cellar and the food inside positive bonuses
Yeah.
to spoiling time. It's basically
So many features, guys.
really helpful, especially with the
The biggest insult I can give this game is brain rot. We are going to transition into brain rot worlds basically being built with AI. AI is gonna just recreate this game in a fucking snap. Eventually. As long as it has a hold of an easy to use engine like mine. You know, where things are very easy to just snap and like create a world basically. But this is brain rot. Like, if you dig too deep into the gameplay and you don't just like put down the game and just run away, like if this guy actually continues on playing Vintage Story because he got success out of it, oh no, he's just a random channel in a way. Alright. But it's 3 weeks ago, so he will continue uploading. I don't recommend. Please. Spend 100 days, it's so generic, bro. So Mr. Beastie.
The idea, the potential.
Although it's a very like tactile idea to spend a certain amount of time, creates a really nice vibe for the video itself. So the video is like absolutely brilliant. The game is
Here we
the question is how much of the game actually has been explored? Like what percentage of the game?
cave with two boltern enemies. They are basically archer type guys.
Yeah, there's a lot of content
That
actually.
spit bolts at you after seeing the room.
This looks absolutely brilliant. Going into some like ruined place, being guarded by mobs, like, and this looks so detailed, so
Study
well
of some
crafted.
sort.
This is definitely someone else's work. Like the dude provided like a bunch of things to put together, and someone built it, and it's
I
very
got in
nice
and
looking.
inspected my surroundings, bones and rabbit. I noticed a
Like, look how detailed, look how cool this room is.
ruined
Absolutely
dagger.
brilliant.
Nothing super special or how to use it.
Like, the reward for playing this game does exist, and it's kind of a little bit of a redemption for it being shitty.
But at least it's ours. I came back home and brought the spoils. I mean,
Bro got his bed. Congratulations.
look at this bed. Straight to this guy specific.
More content. There's a lot of content here. It's definitely worth a purchase if you can withstand the gameplay.
Caves.
Oh shit. Oh shit,
But
bro.
back to prospecting. I prospected all
That's something. Fucking traveling
over the place in
blocks.
search of tin from
Oh
caves
my
and
god. That's crazy.
At least that
Wait,
worked.
wait, we see the fading away of clouds. I mean,
Yes,
that
I
was
could
kind of
gather
nice
the now
too.
fully grocery farm. At least that worked.
So while it's not gonna give you a good first impression, it definitely starts stacking correctly. it starts growing on you. So I understand like the biggest fans of this game are gonna be absolutely happy with how this game works. All right, that's cool. That's very
For the
nice.
day. Next 1%.
So you basically just have to like this video alone like can motivate people to play the game. I still think there's too much stuff going on. Like I'm not gonna be interested personally, and there's too much of a tutorial that you have to like go through. But this videos like these are like so helpful to motivate the game. So like this is what sells the game for the first time.
I dug straight down. One of his kind.
Oh my god! What
Ate
the
some
hell,
of my
dude?
crops a couple of days ago. Actually got a
Okay, no, I can no longer criticize this game. Let's just find cool moments to show you and end the video.
then into all the other tool molds I had. So a bronze hammer ready. The smithy has just
My animal is ready.
messed up. Made a little tool holder thing
Wow, this is fascinating.
for the coat, and it still kinda looks like a pile of steaming feces, just taller. Whatever. It's not the looks that matter. It's what's inside.
It's the looks that matter because look at this. Actually, clouds get to be lit up as well in this scenario. Like, please, no. Help us all. I tried to not criticize
Anyway, I went to
past
sleep on my new
past
bed,
this
and
point.
fast forward
They just like stab you in the
to
face,
the
bro.
next. They also spawn a
Ooh,
lot of
wow, this is
monsters
crazy.
outside, making survival very, very hard. And after the temporal storm went away,
Someone wants to say hello.
I just continued my nap like nothing ever happened. Not yet enough of them to make a pile, but
What
we'll
the-
get there. Then I
Ingot stacking.
finally started smithing.
Look how many gold bars I
With some
have.
charcoal instance, we can make a saw, which will enable me to make
Oh my
planks
god.
and
Wow.
actually starts for some quality of life improvement.
Quite something, but it is time consuming,
We
isn't
make it
it?
easier to gather sticks from tree branches, evil vibe than anything, and that's actually really nice.
What is not nice is this texture. Like you can just like slightly rotate it and all of a sudden it's completely different. But this uniform thing is killing the vibe.
Even made myself a nice
Wow, vibe.
to go. With each day passing, the life was getting Enish at some point.
My big question is there a reason to have at least like two textures of something? Because this looks good. This looks fine.
And I initially thought it would, and it took, but
But from the below side, right? It does not look good. It looks kind of repetitive. So I'm not sure. I need to know how is the best way to like texture things.
as well. But after day 2 was finished at some point, and now my house was actually kinda presentable. All behind wooden doors. And
Oh, he had to close the cellar. I knew there's something gonna be fishy
now
about
it
this.
works. Next day I went out to get some
Because the ladder has this gap. And it still reads as a gap.
Quartz.
Wow,
I marked
this,
it-
it's crazy. The amount of detail put into this is crazy. So the moment you do commit and jump into this wormhole, enjoy. I don't know.
deposit somewhere around the negative glass during the
Okay, I feel like these are too unicolor. Basically, these particles. They could have like 3 pixels of texture in them or something. They could even be bigger.
which
I
can
don't
be used to make primitive glass from now
Because I
on.
guess what feels like cringe is well, first these are particles. You can't attack them too much. But what feels cringe is that they're bigger than pixels, you know, and it's like where did they come from?
Went home and made
So either you can make them small enough to do represent pixels, exact size of pixels, or you have to add more texture to these particles to make
some
them
glass
look good.
blocks with and the clear quartz.
This feels good, bro.
But since
Glass.
Wood block. I did
Uh-oh.
get some performance issues when trying to put
Performance. Let's go. That's what I'm looking for. Performance issues.
but I guess
Ah shit. I missed that. What?
that's just what happens.
Fuck. I don't like what happens. I try to do clapping. I think voice mod has to go. I think it's actually fucking useless. My god. Have I been betrayed? I'm trying to pitch my voice down so it like feels good to listen to myself. Performance issues, though. Oh my god, with glass.
30 players near the age of 30. I did in my house. Next
Wow, look. That's
morning,
cute.
I checked up the bucket I crafted earlier to fill the rows with water,
This looks good.
and my farm was pretty much ready.
Waving, bro. Wow.
And crafted even
So it took actually a long time. Like 100 days is a lot in order to prepare for a real adventure.
more cloth and armor. Not
I'm just wondering if he completed the game or not.
gonna lie, I love how they casted more ingots and so on and on. It went like this for
Bro's sitting down. His legs are not touching the floor though.
a couple of days and wait for the flags
Yeah, why is chair so big then?
to grow to finish not really an issue. Despite, you know, this guy looming over me and all the
Jesus Christ. It has such a crazy
horses just
shader.
running around every time it happened. But I was mostly sticking to making light. My
Just make it extra ugly though, you
little
know?
vineyard also finally yielded
To appreciate color that you get and these floating things still there.
me some berries as well. Tap to the closest
While bushes don't really look that good, trees look
wild beehive I
amazing.
could find. It was a medium beehive.
Look amazing, dude.
If we wax from the squeeze honeycombs is useful. You can make a candle
Oh, come on, dude.
out
Come
of one
on.
flag.
At some point, like, it assumed this identity of realism is like, bro thinks it's gameplay. To squeeze honey out of honeycomb. That's
And 3
gameplay,
white
guys.
stones. One thing I learned, I built
At this point, just play real life, you know? Just build actual real life things, do real life things, and make money out of it, because
a little
fuck
ram for them
this.
to jump through the fence. Male ram. Not sure
Oh my
what
god,
to do with them yet,
capture!
but I do have them now. Worth it? The need I
Barrels
was
look
talking
kinda
about
nice.
earlier. Why didn't I do them? And now that
The reason why I don't make games like that in this particular way is because it's best to make more games sometimes than try to polish a turd that most people wouldn't enjoy. And then you try to make that everything is super simple and to the point, and you go through the actual story that has a story, you go through that adventure, and you can move on. And you hope for the next game or the next big ass expansion that changes everything. And if it doesn't change everything, it's not worth. I don't know. I have a very high level tactic of how to make games. It's just I have very low ability to actually perform. Because I need to be kickstarted, you know? I have to be funded with your subscriptions, guys. With your comments and engagement. Gotta get funding, you know?
time supposed to be right on it. And then there I saw it. The gate to
Here it goes,
who knows
guys.
where.
And now he will spend a lot of time underground. It's very dark.
Library.
Oh, I like the embers falling down,
Library.
though. Like, that's crazy.
I can go to the library.
He found a friend. That's a lot of detail as well. Fucking crazy.
Oh, there's someone here. Nothing here.
It could just do a very nice dungeon crawler at this point. It has all the components to put it together. Everything is still like super dark, and the choice of doing that is terrible. Oh, every mob has to be black and brown. It's like
Come here.
great. Not to mention that the only other color encountered is yellow. And that shit's rare in here. Everything's just dark. Pilot Turd is still following him for some reason. That thing that he mentioned, Pilot Turd, still all over the place as a vibe. It kind of nicely makes things less relevant and things like that stand out. So you want to pick them up.
This is the gear, I guess, that I need.
And again, you feel so much better when the vibe changes to something better.
Okay.
Some different colored in.
Iron, I actually had to go down this.
So many structures. So intricate.
Hello.
Uh-oh. You probably want to go back out of here. Health bar kind of is weird. Like, why? Why can't you just fucking normal health bar. Why does it have to have these little tiny dots? Come on, dude. I guess it's not too bad. It's very similar to player's health bar. That shit's ugly too. Goodbye. Lol. He had such an easy time with these small mobs, and then there's this big boss guy, and it's like, come on. It's also just bad balance, basically. Never explained how do you regenerate health, by the way. Like, why is he not healing, for example, when he has titsy bitsy of red ink? He somehow managed to respawn and come back to the boss, though. Like, none of this is explained, unfortunately. Yeah, well, he looks like a turd, so I'm not gonna show you guys. Yeah, it feels like the game has pipes just because pipes can be rusty and ugly. Okay, now it's getting kind of like insulting. If the game has so much detail inside a dungeon, why can't it have more detail throughout the game, not in a particular place? Like, what? Why can't people get gripped by the game and just find things laying around? This is crazy. And then there's a sophisticated pillar system, bro. Look at this shit. Oh, look at the crown. You literally find a fucking underground kingdom. What the fuck? Shit like this should be gradual, not just like, oh, here you go. Here's the real part of the game. Here's the big-ass reward. I didn't thought the reward is gonna be that big. Holy crap.
Out. The Resonance archives were completed, and I managed to somehow get through them. This was way more intense than I thought it would be, honestly, but it was really, really interesting.
Well, that's the only gameplay part of the game, dude.
Run back home as fast as
Of course it's interesting.
could. Been almost
what else are you gonna do?
Close to some balls to climb.
Glider
And this high on
time.
my first ever trip was actually amazing, not even going to lie. But that's enough.
We get something out of this.
Jumped.
We
And
get
that
transition between this world.
was actually amazing, not even going
Oh, it generates
to lie.
terrain.
But that's enough of this for now.
You can't just have it, huh? You can't just have infinite terrain,
I have
can you?
responsibilities, you know? So
We get a little bit more
that's
of
enough
that.
of this for now. I have
What is this? What are these floating rocks?
responsibilities. You know? It didn't really matter.
I've heard it's his wife kind of making all the textures. And I blame you for it, okay? You take the blame for making the game ugly.
Things that a dummy say into the bucket.
Fucking whammon.
Again, more
Get
than
outta
that,
here.
alright? When you dig
Whammon don't understand how games are
everything around
made.
the raw stone, red clay on the other, and here
Look at this thing, though.
we go. I have fire
This
clay now.
thing.
Usually you would have to find it
What's going on
in the
here?
wild, but recently
Holy
they
shit.
added that into chiseling stuff. You know, with the chisel, I made like a 1,000
Yay,
years.
that's pretty cool, too. Also kind of creepy because, wow, that's a lot of
ago,
detail
I
now.
made this little table. I know. Left to the main doors and the windows. Then
Wow. That is fascinating.
I decided that I needed to do something
Chisel is fascinating for sure.
in the middle, cut
That's inspirational. Chisel, bro? Holy crap.
and it took me a lot of time actually.
Damn, dude. Holy
Way too long.
crap.
I just got really sucked into the process, but ultimately did anything and
Bro crammed so many features, just kept cramming. It's
just a
totally
color with no
brilliant.
traits or personality.
spell.
After finishing buy some stuff for the winter. Also, wolves seem to
I have a hard time understanding what's the point of knockbacking an enemy. Aren't they supposed to be dangerous?
browse through his
Fucking, he couldn't even
some stuff
attack,
for the
bro.
winter. Also, wolves seem to be much
Wolf
less of a
couldn't-
threat since I got my
No. Since you have so much knockback.
bronze sword. I browsed cast special
Chiseling is crazy simply because you need to save so much data. All of a sudden, every pixel on the block becomes a data point.
oven thingy for this, making charcoal again.
So the
and when
reason why he died to the boss fight
I was at it, I got a visitor. I ignited
is because everything else has knockback. I don't imagine real life with knockback effects, especially when it comes to swords. How do you knock back someone? Your sword gets stuck more likely than there's knockback.
the
Fuck,
pulpit,
dude. Why make the game easier than it has to be?
some more tools
Lost opportunity,
to
guys.
mine even, and of course a heavy temporal storm.
Look at that vibe as well.
Why not? Thing outside. I still have no idea what it is. If you know, please let me know in the comments. I'm sure
It's called boredom. It's called big blob of boredom. Big amalgamation of boredom. Something interesting has to happen, so it's right there. Destroying you if you don't have a house built. Punisher, bro.
there's some journey. I'm so glad I installed this Napster mod because otherwise I would
I'm so glad I got this mod that helps me avoid shitty parts of the gameplay. Yikes. There's so much cool shit going on, but it doesn't have a purpose. Or color.
100%
that
not
matter.
recover from this. It took days.
Or cannot recover from knockback. To even be able to touch you, basically. So, all in all, guys, this game be ugly.
Nights to work blue. It was
Until everything comes together, and then you get to kind of still get rewards for playing it. So it's not worthless game. It's very
insane,
ugly.
but extremely
Insane.
time-consuming, and it would definitely
Time-consuming,
be boring
guys.
to ape. I am officially an artist. This is modern art or vintage art, you know.
Cute.
Then I made some wooden cider looks.
That's where you might want to have multiple textures inside. But
I usually make them like not
especially when you chip away stone, I imagine there's like lighter inside and darker outside. There has to be something to make this statue stand out. It's not just like shade differently based on the angle. But as you dig deeper into the stone, you should find a slightly different texture.
Art, you know. Then I made some, and the winter's ending.
Fascinating. And why is the graphics bloomy, by the way, in cinematic? Some shots.
Snow is slowly going away.
Is that expensive?
I have achieved the goals I infamous vintage.
Because if the game looked like this, bro, I'm sorry. That's kind of better, dude. That's a little bit better. Can we have this?
But that would be all from me. Thank you.
Yeah, the vibe is vintage, right? Like back in the day, we lived in villages. Back in the day, we lived in a very tactile world made out of woods, where nails was an expense. We get to actually travel back in time, so yeah, there's a reason why this game exists. It definitely serves a purpose. And thanks for watching. I hope I served a purpose too. I mean, you watched this whole time. You survived the insults. Thank you very much.